So I'm going to record this. This is going to be available in our Q&A session in the entire course platform. So if you ever want to revisit it, it's there. First of all, I'd like to get started by asking you guys, how have your Instagram stories been doing? Have you seen any successes, any wins? Have you seen any challenges, particularly with something that you'd like to share or anything that's going super well? I'd love to hear it from you first before we start the Q&A. How are things going? And feel free to.
Can I start?
Yes.
Yeah, so I really like the sequence idea. Previously I was kind of doing the one video here, one video there, but now I'm started doing sequence. I kind of bring my audience into my thought process. For example, when I'm sharing the patient cases, I kind of tell them who is this person, what is her story, instead of just like, this is the result and people don't care. So that's really good. And then my question is, I feel like I'm getting more DM from people, which is really good. But I feel like I'm maybe not attracting the right people because whatever people that like DM me, they're not really quite interested. They would just disappear after I kind of respond. But the people like book with me, they don't reach out to me, they just book. So I was like, maybe I'm not really attracting the right people, the right group. So that's my way and my question. Thank you.
Okay. I like that realization that you're having, because there's a lot of depth to this. So one thing you said, that when you share one page, people don't care, but now you're introducing your thought process. So that already has a lot of awareness. And I always say the more awareness, the better our results. Right. One thing I would ask you is, when these people DM you, what do they DM you?
They ask me what their problem. They tell me what their problem is, and if I can help them. And of course, I say, it is this is my expertise, this and that. And then some of them would ask me the price, and then they would just stop responding. Okay,
so it seems like the story has led them to your DMs. And now what's actually missing is, it may not be that they're the wrong people. They may just be missing some nurturing. They may just be missing some listening. They may just be missing some more conversation before you actually communicate your prices. So what I do is first things first, I try to listen to them. Generally, they say, "Hi, May, I really loved your post or your story about something. It really resonated with me. What I'd like to work with you. What are your packages?" I could straight away say, okay, my packages are, 250 euros for, I don't know, for a strategy, whatever. And are you interested? I could say that. But instead, I go back and I ask them, "Oh, thank you so much for DMing me. Really appreciate it. It's great to see that you are trying to improve your social media profile, etc. What is it that you are struggling with?" And then I really try to understand their entire situation before even talking about me, my qualifications, my prices, anything. And then after that, when they tell me their problems, I'll say, "Okay, great. Then it definitely sounds like something I can help you. Look, if you are interested, I give a 30-minute free call for one-to-one clients. So I lead them into a 30-minute free call. I say, I have a 30-minute free call that you can avail of for us to discuss how we can best work together and for me to get to know your business a little bit better. And then for some people that ask the price, I say, my prices start at 250 euros, but this initial call is free. Would you like to book? Would you like me to send you the calendar link?" And some people won't go forward. Some people will go forward. And that's quite normal. That's quite normal. What I would say there as well is, sorry, I lost what I had in my head. Give them a nudge if they're not answering, because sometimes they're just busy and DMs go away. But bottom line, it sounds like your issue right now is DM strategy, not Instagram story strategy.
Okay.
And maybe
Okay.
with your content, you could nurture your audience a little bit more as well to kind of break that barrier. And don't say the price straight away, for sure, for sure, for sure.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Hope this helped. Okay, so wins. What did you think about the course? Challenges? How is everything going? Melanie?
I found it really good because at the moment, like just due to recession or whatever, there's been a huge drop off in business because I sell luxury products. I mean, in the sense that they're not massively expensive, but they're a lot more expensive than kids' clothes and women's clothes. It's not, like it's kind of high prices. So when people have less money, we have less sales among the customers that we had, and it's trying to reach new people. And it's a huge amount of pressure because I have staff for doing stuff, but it's like I'm doing Google Ads, Instagram, Facebook group, blah blah blah. It's a lot. And I found the sequence is really good because I got one of the staff she's really good at like creating content in the sense that she can take good pictures and she's creative. She doesn't have the marketing or the sales piece. So now she has something to follow. And it helps her out, but I generate ideas too about things that we could do. So now I'm like, have you any ideas about what we could do? And she's like, oh, we can do this. And I'm like, that's really good. So, that's taken a little bit of work away from me as well. And obviously it takes time for her to kind of hone what she's doing and that, but it could be good. It's good to have another voice there as well,
It
for customers to
absolutely
connect,
is.
I think, so yeah, that's been really helpful. I think as well, I've got more DMs, which is good. So creating more connection there on Instagram. I mean, I'm not expecting to see instant results. Like we definitely have had sales though, but it's taught me a little more about creating connection on Instagram through stories, definitely. I suppose what I was wondering was, is there an ideal number of stories? Because I suppose at the moment what we're kind of cycling through is I'll have one day that's kind of focused on, like yesterday was talking about certain type of sandals. So I was like informing all about these sandals, and that's just kind of a salesy piece. And then today we were doing like lots of try-ons. That's more of a connection piece. There is a sales bit in there, but it's more, oh, come and look what we're doing. You can see we're trying on, and sort of we're not constantly like sell. But is there a kind of an optimum number of stories in a sequence before you kind of start to lose people, or what do you think?
It really depends on your sequence. So if it's a sales sequence, like a purely sales sequence, the more stories, the more you'll lose people. That's normal.
Yeah.
If it's an engagement sequence, you can go a little bit further. I would say you can go even further, like almost up to 10 stories, and you could even still get the engagement up. I wouldn't go past 10 stories. I think at that point, it's already a lot. Unless you have a really good explanation, you're in an amazing event, or you're traveling, or there's some big news, Black Friday.
That works. Yeah, that works really well. So if I go to trade fairs and stuff like that, like people are really interested in that, and they're getting behind this, they're getting looks at things that aren't coming out for another 6 months, and that they will keep watching.
Yeah.
So they're kind of my best performing stories before. But that's good. And is there a kind of to know whether what you're doing is working or not? Is there a kind of a percentage of people be holding on to from your first to your last story, or what would you consider to be good?
Now, it really depends. If, for example, if you're posting 3 stories in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, 3 at night, it is natural that it's not going to be the same percentage, because people will naturally drop off during the day. Not everybody that started will watch the stories in the afternoon and the stories at night. So it's very hard to put a number when it's like that, and it should be like that. It shouldn't be all thrown into the 1 hour time frame. I would say that the closer, it's the reverse thing. It's not the number of the retention, but actually the stories. So the closer your stories are, the more you will lose people. So say,
Okay.
for example, if you're just talking about something for 4 or 5 stories, a single topic, just very hard to follow, very hard to understand. People will get to the third one and be like, I'm done. So,
Yeah, no, I'd be the same. Yeah. Yeah.
So rather than retention, we want to scatter them throughout the day so that we can hit our audience at different points during the day.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Hope this helped.
Thanks. Yeah, no, that's good. I have to say, no, it's been a really good training, really good value, and I think something that you can build on and learn how to do better as well. Like, you know, you can follow your sequence, but obviously you can learn then about what works for your audience, or get better at selling, get better, you know. And it's great to have it all down so somebody else can do it, not just me. I really, really think this has been really good for us.
Thank you so much. And absolutely, I think that the beauty of the sequences for everyone is that the more you use them, the more you create your own. It is just natural that things will start appearing and they will make so much more sense. Like now,
Yeah.
people understand that, okay, the first story you invite, you start the day. You're not just throwing something at their faces for them to answer, you know, what is the square root of pi? It's like, you know, it's kind of like, my client says this, it's kind of like romancing, you know, you start with an invitation, you take them out to dinner.
Yeah,
Kind of
I've never been very good at that. I like to just get straight in there, so I have to learn that bit.
Very good,
Yeah.
very good. Okay, guys, any
Thanks.
more? Thank you so much, Melanie. Any more questions? If anybody has a sequence today that is up on their stories, feel free to let me know. We can go to your profile, we can watch it together. If you have questions around, if you've seen my mini chat automation, we can talk about that too. You can talk about anything you want.
Oh, I have a story, a sequence up on my story today.
Love it. Let's go there. So, Rose, would you be able to enable participant sharing for me, please? Just on the green button. Thank you. Okay, let's go there. It's Reina X Regina, right? There we go. Okay, so would you be able to explain to us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to. So today I was supposed to go out to this event, and then I didn't make it. So I tried that thing where it's like, go out with me, yes or no. And then the story of that eventually became a no. And then I popped in a story about one of the products I was shipping that, okay, I didn't get to leave my house, but one of my products did. So that's great. And then another question basically asking, okay, so I stayed home. Do you think I'm going to make reels today or not? And then eventually that turned out to be a not. But I was like, okay, answer. I 50-50. I fell asleep, but I did make a new reel, so here it is. And that's I think my last post for the day was the reel. Oh,
Okay.
thank you for saying the feed's pretty.
So let's take a look at your stories then. So Cartomancy Decks. Oh, sorry. Let's just get a little bit of a background here. So Filipino made Cartomancy Decks, right? That's what you sell. That's your core domain. Let's see. So go out with me today. Let's go. Heck no. Why is it so quick? Heck no. And that's probably like your own language, right?
It means it's super hot. Yeah.
Okay.
Heck no, it's super hot.
It's super hot. Like it. Okay. Yeah, well, guess what? I'm actually not leaving because I can't find a ride. This lovely Bay Day Friday, this outfit and I are going back to bed. Tap to see where I was supposed to go. Okay. Wanted to drop by to support surprise Paper Love PH and other Swifty from merch booths, but I can't find a ride. It's been over an hour, so I'm staying home. If you're in the area, do drop by. Program starts at 3. And then we have. Okay, I love how things are connecting very well with each other. I think it's a great story. We can definitely talk a little bit more about passing the feelings you want to pass. So if we're thinking about your brand and about your stories, what are the vibe and the feeling that you want people to get from your stories? What do you want them to leave your profile feeling?
Okay, so a little background. I've what? Yeah, okay. So a little background. The Philippines is a very Catholic country, so tarot and cartomancy isn't super popular. Like, there is a certain barrier to entry. So when people come to my page, I want them to see that, oh, reading cards is totally natural and you shouldn't be scared of it, and it can be beautiful and it can be empowering and fun and let you meet people who are just like you. Like, okay, I identify as a witch, but I don't alienate people. Like, it's not a big I have to dress in black and be scary all the time thing. I look like a normal person, and you can be magic and be a normal person too. So that's the vibe that my page and the shop hopes it gets across.
Okay, very good. So you have that vibe of you want to pass that down to earth kind of thing, that relatable and just everybody can access cartomancy kind of thing, right?
Yes.
Okay, because that's exactly the vibe that your stories are passing now. It's the vibe of, I am just like you, anybody can do this. I'm, very relatable, and that's it. That's me living my life. So cool. What I would say here, I would just have added an introduction, a little bit more of, I'm planning something really cool today. And I'm going to an amazing place. Would you like to go with me and see a little bit more of the behind the scenes? And then let's go. And then heck no, perfect. This story is perfect. Okay. Here, I would have put the text explanation above because it's the reading sense that people do. So our eyes will start from the top, go to the bottom. So just make sure that explanations are at the top for everybody.
Okay.
This was at least my Shopee shipment found a ride out of here. I would have put, this is an order you sold, right?
Yes.
Okay. I would have put a little bit more explanation about what this order is, who is it for, and instead of saying Shopee shipment, I would have put
Shopee's like our Etsy platform, something like that. Right. Amazon, Etsy, yeah.
So we don't want to promote their platform. We want to promote your stuff. So we want to say, at least I got a shipment out to a client today. She ordered, I don't know, like our double special, whatever. Stickers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Describe what it is.
Okay.
And then here I would have linked the exact same product.
Oh, not just the shop in general.
Not just the shop in general. Itself. Exactly.
Okay.
And instead of saying you can shop too, we just put the product name or something like that.
Okay. Well, that's here, like a personal story.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm cool with sharing it because I also talk about that sometimes as part of the, I'm just like you. I deal with these issues. I go to fan events. And I find that when I talk about my anxiety, I get a lot of engagement. Like that's the story I think that got the most likes and replies today.
Okay, cool. That's good. If that's something you're comfortable with sharing, it's great to build connection, right? So it shows that we're human. I would just, and I think that, say for example, if this is a topic you bring often to your profile, I think this is great. I think this makes you human. Just be careful. I think this is for everyone, to not always bring a bunch of different topics every single week that we are struggling with, because then it stops being relatable and even helpful, and it starts lowering our credibility and showing us as, I don't know, which is very terrible to say, but it shows us as very flawed people. So if, for example, me, I struggle a lot with some medical issues as well sometimes, and I talk about it. I talk about it all the time. Like, so I have problems with my shoulders sometimes. I have some digestive problems, and I'm always talking about it because it affects me every week. So I talk about it. But then I try to avoid talking about the fact that sometimes I get into like comparisonitis online as well, and I get depressed. I avoid talking about the fact that, all the other stuff that if I bring every single day to my account, it's just gonna build a very heavy atmosphere. Does that make sense? But yeah, great job with that. I would have loved to see some more photos that are more natural of what you're doing at the time that you wrote these stories, even if you were just sitting down on your desk or on your couch. I think it would have added a little bit more a natural tone to it.
Okay.
Slept all day and didn't shoot. I did make a reel. Here you go. And that's perfect because you were preparing them to the reel you created, which is lovely. I like that. This is a great sequence. Just keep in mind the things we talked about. So the order of the text, a little bit more context at the start, making it a little more natural with a blend of photos of whatever you're doing now, plus maybe a video talking directly to the camera.
Okay.
And yeah, that would be that's already a perfect sequence. It's very good.
Can I touch base on that?
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. I was just gonna.
sorry.
I was
I
just
saw
gonna
that-
say.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. I'll just wrap up and say that I usually post a bunch of stories every day because I like sharing our process and what we do. But after taking the course, it helped me to sort of chain them into like, okay, this is what I'm doing. Tap to see the next thing instead of like, this is what I'm doing, and here it is. So they know that if they keep tapping, there's like, there's FOMO for the next slide and so on and so on. So yeah, thanks for making that very clear in the SISS course.
Thank you so much. And FOMO is super, super powerful. I think if anything you use on social media, if you choose to use one thing, use FOMO, because it's not the bad thing that people make it out to be. When we use it for engagement and connection, we're actually just creating feelings, right? So we're creating that excitement towards the next thing we're going to share. We're creating that curiosity around the next thing we're going to launch. So it's actually very good feelings when they're not linked to scarcity. Then yes, when we launch things or when we sell things, we can use some FOMO for scarcity, but that's another thing.
Can I ask a question related to her post? So she had a lot of the like voting or like ask people to pick. I actually have a question with that too. I don't know whether it's normal that some people, for me, my account is really small. I have 170 followers. I have about 30 people to watch my stories. Usually at the end of the day, only 10 people would vote. The other 20 would not. I don't know whether that's normal or that just tells me if you're not interested in the topic.
Sometimes it could be that it is normal that not everyone will vote. Actually, 10 out of 30 is not bad. like 33%. That's really good. I would experiment with different types of polls, so different topics, trying to explain the topic a little better before, trying to keep it extremely simple. The simpler the question and the simpler the answer, the better you get. So starting your first poll with a yes or no, or like good morning, bad morning, things that are very, very basic,
Gotcha.
generally help.
Okay, thank you so much. I have to go back to work. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for coming.
Can I ask about something that you were saying before?
Of course.
Yeah, you were talking, it was Rainbow Kids, it was with Rainbow Kids, about how you break up the stories throughout the day, and then end up kind of like at the end with some sort of, but I'm struggling sometimes to know how to break. If it's like the same topic, I'm kind of like, I naturally just want to like spurge it all out, and then it becomes too long. I don't know, I don't quite know what I'm trying to say, but I'm sometimes struggle, I guess, just to break it up if it's one topic, how to sort of then actually come back to it, if that makes sense. So I sometimes finding that my sequences are probably getting a bit long. And yeah, I don't quite know, how do you normally sort of stop and then restart if it's the same subject without being annoying and being like, we'll come back later, and then the actual no now. So, you know, I don't know.
That's a great question. That's a question that a lot of people have. And the answer will really depend on your day-to-day, on the sequence that you're talking about. I think there are two answers to that question. One answer is, in content creation, when we are creating anything, we have to be a little uncomfortable. What does that mean? It means that if you're going down one road, there's going to be lots of little streets that you could also take your followers through. So if I'm talking about, let's say, if I'm talking about how, just picking something out of my hat, if I'm talking about how I made, I don't know, how I got 10,000 followers, right? I could talk about a lot of different bullet points, and that's following kind of like the same format. I could focus on 3 key topics and then talk about the 3 key topics. And I could talk about my timeline, but there's always one central theme, and you should not deviate from that central theme, because when we do, be it on the stories, be it on the feed, we start to lose people. So say, for example, I want to talk about my story from being an engineer to being a content creator and storytelling consultant. If I'm going to tell you about every single job I had in between, I'm going to lose you. Instead, I'm going to focus on the work I did as an engineer, probably my personal journey, and then what led me to here. And every other topic becomes just a little bullet point. I'm not going to go deeper into any of them. So that's one part. We need to be uncomfortable with removing details our audience does not need. It's just for us that we want to share. The second part, which is about the split and the timing, I would try to, I know sometimes we want to tell a story inside a sequence. So a story would be more like, you know, if you're sharing a testimonial and you say, today I'd like to share with you the story of this client who is getting, I don't know, who just made 3,000 euros from a story sequence. Would you like to hear it or not? Yes, please, and absolutely. Then great. So before we started working together, that already, after that first post, I would have already taken a break. So then you start the story. There's no stopping. You probably need 3 or 4 stories to complete it. And that's a sequence, right? This is a lot more concise than if you were sharing what Reina just shared. So what Reina shared a story separated in multiple blocks. So each block has an update. That is also a sequence, but that can be stopped at any time, anytime, anytime. So it really depends on your story. What you could
Would
do
you
is
mind having a look at?
go ahead.
Carry on. I was going to say, once you've said what you said, would you mind having a look at the one I put up today and see
Love
what
it.
you think?
Let's do it. Close here. Share screen. What is your username?
Are mindful children?
Our mindful.
Our mind. Yeah.
Our mindful children. There we go. So let's take a look at it. Our mindful children. So did you know that by entrusting your toddler and children with household tasks, you're not only helping them to develop their problem-solving skills, their problem-solving and motor skills, but more importantly, you're making them feel like a valued, trusted, and significant member of your family. This in turn can build their self-esteem, confidence, both of which we know can help a child keep mentally healthy and thrive at home and at school. Which household activities does your child get involved with at home? Let me know here so that we can share ideas. Our Montessori child, safe knife and silicone fantastic way. Oh, this is so cute. I have a nephew now. I just keep thinking of him. Okay, and then here you repeated the question.
Well, I've just shared. Yeah, that was a bit of a. Sorry, I've got a toddler in the background. I was trying to share something that someone had sent me as a reply, but I kind of was editing it when my toddler grabbed my phone and stuff. So then it's kind of just not kind of finished, but then it's already out there. I'm just on the phone, darling. Yeah, when you're reading it there, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's all so wordy.
Okay, that's good insight. Okay, so wordy, how do you feel about the story sequence?
Yeah, I just feel like it's really wordy now that I'm seeing someone else read it. Because if it's like your topic and you kind of know what you're talking about, it's kind of so quick to sort of scan over. But if you're someone else reading it, I've just realized it was quite a lot for you there.
I always use the analogy of like the random person on the street or the caveman. I've seen the caveman as well. So if the caveman has to read your story and has to like it or your post or whatever, so it's kind of like read it out loud. I think it really helps. So
okay,
I think the first thing I would say here is that if we replaced this hook by like the easiest way to get your child or to help your child improve their motor skills, you could have turned this entire sequence into a beautiful carousel. That was my very first thought.
okay.
Because for this to be a true story sequence, the first thing you
Heidi, sorry. Sorry,
No
I'm
worries.
listening. My dog's
Okay.
just toddler's just let the dog in, and then the dog's eating all the toddler's food, and the toddler's upset.
No worries.
Carry on. I was listening. Yeah.
So this could be a
So
beautiful
turn it into
carousel
a carousel.
with a nice hook. I think for this to be a good story, we should probably add a little bit more of you, a little bit more
Okay.
of maybe one story of you talking, maybe some different photos, even some stock photos of children if you want playing, or like toys. I think that would add a little bit more naturality, because the stories should be something that are more raw, less edited, more in the
Okay.
moment. This
Okay,
looks like
yeah.
a great carousel. What I would
Carousel. Okay.
what I would have done here is I would have said, Good morning. Today I wanted, even if it's a starting video, good morning. I hope you're well. Today I wanted to ask my community here to gather some ideas on household activities to do with your child so that they can get involved at home. Would you like to participate? And then ask a question. And then on the next story, I'm dropping this question box here. If you have kids at home, would you mind taking 10 seconds to answer it? And then household activities for kids to get involved. So-
Okay, I like that.
Then there's a break, natural break. And then after you can add something in the middle. But I would have already gone after maybe 3 hours and shared at least the first one. You share the first one. You don't need to repeat the question because the question should be here already in the black part, right? That's what that one is for. And you could put it up there. And then you talk about it, setting the table, carrying washing downstairs. So you, as the expert, you should position yourself and say, absolutely, this is a fantastic way to get children to learn the importance of real tasks, etc. As also, and then you connect this for parents that are trying to do this. It's important that you have great utensils and child-friendly utensils at home. For example, our Montessori child-safe knife and silicone placemat. And I wouldn't have put pictures. I would have shown in video, if you can.
Okay. Ooh, okay, that's great. Thank you.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it really does. Thank you. Yeah, and it seems so obvious what you say. Yeah, that's great. Thank you very much.
No worries. Happy it helped.
Thank you.
Any more questions? That was fantastic. And I think we can all see the difference between a carousel that's more wordy, that's less in the moment, to a story which is more natural. It involves you or involves somebody, something that's happening at that time. And it's kind of like either a very nice conversation at a coffee shop, or it's a sneak peek into your life, or it's a game. I think those are the three best definitions of stories. Make it a game, make it a conversation, make it about your life. I should add that to the course. Any more questions? I'll check the chat in the meantime.
I have a question. Well, actually, can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Harley. How are you?
Hi, May. I'm great. How are you?
Doing good.
Thank
Doing
you
good.
for doing this again. So first, some feedback. I just really love the course, and it's helped me get more consistent with stories and have some structure to follow. And I really like the sequences versus just, posting the one-off stories. So that's been super helpful. And I've noticed more engagement with my polls overall. So that's been nice, but I don't know. I mean, Instagram's never been the platform that I focused on until recently. So I'm just curious, like, how long you would say it takes to build traction. And because even though I've seen more engagement on my polls, I haven't seen that translate to sales yet.
How long have you been doing Instagram for?
I've had an account for a couple of years, and I've posted on there, but like I've never really put my full energy into it because I was more present on Facebook and my email list. So I'd say I've been inconsistent, but getting more consistent this year, maybe starting since like January, February.
Okay. So I would say from the moment you see it as the real deal and start showing up as the real deal, I would say 90 days. I always use the 90-day rule for you to start seeing results, kind of like a snowball effect. You probably have to put a lot at the start. So put in your feed, focus on, sorry, what's your niche?
It's helping health professionals with starting and growing their business.
That actually, I helped somebody else that had the exact same niche. Amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Exact same. They helped them build their courses on certain platforms, and they helped them quit their practice, their in-person practice, and migrate it all online. So maybe a slight different thing than you do, but yeah, same.
It's similar, yeah, but I do focus more on the like copywriting and content piece, just because I'm also certified as a copywriter.
Oh, okay, very good. So health professionals grow their business, right?
Yes.
Interesting. And I a quick question. Why did you decide to niche down your audience?
Yeah, well, so that's a good question. My background is I was a dietitian and I worked in a hospital for 9 years. And so that's a connection point. Most of my clients have been dietitians as well. So that's why I initially did it. But like, to be honest, over the past year, I've been questioning that and kind of feeling the pull to go bigger than that. So yeah, curious to hear your thoughts on that too.
I will do an exercise that I did in our past Q&A. And I think I'll share a very good point. I think it'll work. Okay. How many of us here, I'd like to either you raise your hand or put the little emoji. How many of us here has changed careers from something completely different to what you do today? Okay, so Melanie, Isabel, Grace, Orly, I think it was you too. And Rose, I know you were an English teacher, Rose. Rena, who else? Great. Okay, so we have more than 50% of us here that have done it. That's not my target audience, but that's my story too. So we attract with the vibe we put there and with the messaging we put there in our content every single day. So if I'm talking about the fact that I was an engineer and now I'm no longer an engineer and I talk about these things, I will attract this kind of people. Same thing with the vibe of my content. Sometimes I attract a lot of people from the health fields. Health and fashion are my two biggest niches by far. And I never once targeted them directly. I just know that I attract people from those niches and I know why. So I keep repeating those things in my content. If you worked with dietitians before, you don't have to say it directly in your bio, but in your content, there should be loads of content related to the health field or targeting the health field. This could potentially help you reach a bigger audience faster and then reach the right audience faster consequently. That's my take on the niching the audience thing. I hardly ever recommend niching down the audience. But
so you're saying in terms of the bio, keeping it more general, but then in my content speaking to that type of person, to a health professional, or not even that?
You could, yes. Keep the bio broad. That's the first step for sure. So when remember, it's not just your bio, but your pitch, your everyday pitch. So you could talk about the fact that you're a copywriter and you help with content copy. People grow their business owners, grow their businesses, particularly in the health field. So you can put, I have 15 years experience, 10 years experience working with business owners in the health field. That's my area of domain. So you can say that it's your area of domain, but not as a first message. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. And definitely, because my bio, I think at one point did say dietitian business coach. So it was very specific, but I want to, like I said, I've been feeling the pull to go beyond that.
You could start with, instead of dietitian, you could say health and wellness. right? Just to broaden it up a little bit, see how it feels, and then give concrete examples in your content. So case studies of dietitians that succeeded, some business struggles of dietitians, but then bring some additional people in. So the wellness people, the kind of maybe even gym trainers or things like that, because I can bet that they have the same types of struggles in certain things, right?
Right, definitely.
So
Yeah.
yeah, just don't niche yourself so much that it gets harder for people. It gets hard for people to follow you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then in terms of how long, you said give it 90 days of consistency. Yeah.
90 days of consistency. And in the very beginning, I would recommend, because there's a very big difference between posting content when you are established in a platform and when you are just starting. So when you're just starting, you want to sell, you want to have your offers there, you want to have everything straight away, but you want to make sure that you are giving a little bit more of the tips. So kind of like in your case as a service provider, quick tips that they can immediately apply, but not just Google tips, tips from your experience. That's still going to differentiate you from the rest of your audience, but you need to give a little bit more. And then in the middle of the tips, you want to build some awareness to the problems, right? You want to talk about case studies just like you would normally. Testimonials, client things, all of that kind of stuff still should be there, but the tips should be leading, because you are in attraction mode. You're saying, look at me, look at my business, it's really good. And then use your stories to convey more that connection, your expertise, and then talk about your offers. Then your stories will be the go-to place for these things. Rather than fun or entertainment or anything, I would focus your stories on leadership, engagement, and sales. So,
Okay. Yeah, no, that's good. That's helpful. And yeah, to know that there's a difference between the types of content you need to create when you're new on the platform. I mean, not new, but just building, because I tend to avoid the tips. I'm not like a big fan of that, right? Like my content tends to be a lot more in depth versus that fluffy, like here's 3 tips to do whatever, but I can see the value.
yeah, it's kind of like everybody has to post some sort of, it's not even a tip, it's something that gives just a little kind of immediate connection. So I say a dopamine hit, kind of like when you discover something new and you're like, wow, I can't believe I discovered it. I'm going to use it straight away. And then you want to follow that person. Or when you really relate to that person, and then you're like, wow, I need to follow this person straight away. So those things are like really top of the funnel content. And as much as I don't like tips either, we have to post them sometimes. That's why I say, don't just post tips or you won't convert anybody. And when you post tips, make sure to share them from your experience, from your unique point of view. Add some more meat in the captions. Don't just troll, trend alerts, like people say, like in my niche, or just like hacks or things like that. Set the tone with very, very good tips, but that they can use straight away.
Okay, thank you.
Hope this helped. I think
Yes,
Elise had some questions here. Let's see, Elise, I don't know if you're able to talk. You asked here how to build stories that attract my ideal client. I think for that, I would just have to understand your niche a little bit better, understand who you're talking to, just a little bit more background of what you actually want. I think stories are a place to build connection and sell and sometimes even entertain if that's what you want, but you attract with the feed. So you can do some storytelling on the feed, but Instagram stories would be more for connection. Any questions? Any more questions? Oh, I see Reina here. If my shop has multiple products, do you recommend featuring only one product a day a week so I don't overwhelm the people watching? It really depends. You can put a theme to it, Reina. Like you can maybe put a theme to your weeks. So today's week is all about, I don't know, like prosperity, abundance. Next week is all about, I don't know, zodiac signs. I'm just making stuff up. And you can kind of promote products that align to that. You can match your products to special dates in the year, calendar dates that are relevant to your business, but also things that are happening in the media that are relevant. So if somebody said something in the Oscars or in the Grammy, or, you know, you can use that to your advantage as well. You can also, or you can promote, say, focus on one product a day in your stories. You can do that and then link to that store, to the post of the day. I don't think it has to be one a week, but I would either do one a day or a category a day or a category a week, just so it's not like, look at this product, look at this product, look at this product. Laura, do you recommend daily story sections at first to build authority? I've heard that strategy but doing it daily feels off. Daily story sections at first to build authority. Do you mean the mini trainings? What do you mean by that, Laura? Would you be able to?
Yeah, it's like let's say like a set of not a set of stories, but like one story daily, around the same not topic, but like way. So for example, when I heard that she was telling us like, okay, you could do I'm a graphic designer, so like tips for graphic design, but based on my experience, but doing it like daily. So like, and she called it like a section or like to be consistent and bring authority. But I feel like it's too persistent or feels off.
I think daily it would feel off as well, especially if we're talking about your Instagram stories. You would turn your Instagram stories into another feed content.
Sure,
You
sort
know?
of.
And I would definitely, if you are new again in a platform and you're trying to build expertise, leadership there, I would definitely recommend doing, for the service providers, a mini training a week. So you can do Thursdays. On Thursdays, you do a mini training or a Q&A or an Instagram live, something that builds your authority more than with short form content that's going on your feed and that you don't even know if all your audience is seeing it. So lives don't get a lot of views, but they are seen by your audience, and the people that see it builds huge trust. Q&As as well in the stories, a mini training of something that you can even name your mini training. You can brand it, right? You can call it Video Wednesdays, or I don't know, Mindful Thursdays, I don't know. So these things really help build authority when you're trying to establish yourself. And I used to do them a lot. I know people that still do them a lot, but I think at some point it's not necessary anymore. Then I would just go to lives occasionally. I like doing lives occasionally because they're very good to just build some additional trust with the people that are watching.
Okay, great, thank you.
No worries. Isabel from Sunny Vibes. I like that, Sunny Vibes.
Yes. Thank you.
Just joined today, haven't yet seen the
Yeah.
course. Would love to get your overall feedback on my account if possible. Do you have some stories up today, Isabel?
Well, I've just posted basically my stories. I've just been reposting. They just
Okay.
repost of my post. So yeah, so I have to start the whole strategy thing with stories.
Sunny, is it sunnyside.eu?
Sunnyvibes.eu, yeah.
Oh, Sunny Vibes. Sorry, Sunny Vibes. My brain doesn't work. Ah, video confidence. I like that. Visibility specialist. Ah,
Yeah,
was
I'm a hypnotherapist, conversational hypnotherapist and coach. So when it comes to video confidence, it's more of a visibility thing. I decided to call it video confidence because my specialty is scopophobia, which is the fear of being watched or seen. But people didn't understand the word. So I decided to put as video confidence and visibility, and people just get it, basically.
nice. Nice. I like that. So, okay. So camera shy, overcome fears, get confident and visible, grow your business, free, fearless visibility, secrets. Okay, great. Let's see what you have here in your stories today.
That's a repost of my last, which I just did.
Okay, great. So I'm sure when you watch the course, your stories will completely be reinvented. But I like what you have here already. Like, I'm not seeing what's inside, but I
Mhm.
like what I'm seeing here in your highlights. So the freebie,
Okay.
the testimonials about you. We're actually, like, I don't want to give too many spoilers, but when Sis updates, we're gonna have a full class on highlights. So it's all gonna be there.
Okay. I
Ah,
actually haven't. It's just a repost. So it's
Oh,
just
okay.
they're
So-
all reposts. So I actually have to work on those as well.
Okay, so definitely when we create content for our highlights, I would highly recommend creating it for the highlights, no reposts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because what happens every time we repost something, we are driving people
Mhm.
away from our stories, away from our highlight, and away from everything else we want to say after, right?
Okay.
So we try to keep the people that are in the stories, the people that are in the highlights, and then in the feed, sometimes you can use strategies to take people to your stories. That is actually a great thing to do. You can say,
Okay.
by the way, watch my stories today and you will learn blah, 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 or you will see a sneak peek of something that you just talked about in your post. And
Mhm.
after 24 hours, you can remove it from there if you want.
But the highlights, they're always a story, right? There's no other way of publishing highlights.
No other way. And
Okay.
what I suggest to everyone is just say, one day say, hey guys, good morning. Today I'm going to be updating my highlights. So excuse me while I add a bunch of stuff that makes no sense.
Okay. But it's fun anyway.
Yeah. I just skip my highlight, my stories for today.
Yeah, okay. That's nice. Okay, so overall, you mentioned that whatever I've done so far in Instagram, I actually started back in October. So it's definitely more than 90 days. It hasn't converted from Instagram at all. I don't even get DMs.
Okay.
So is that normal? Or have I niched down too much? Because I do get the feedback, oh, that's such a great niche. And everyone is excited about it, but it doesn't convert from the Instagram account.
Okay. I would say that, yeah, a video coach would be a broader aspect of your niche, But then we are
Mhm.
talking about it. Well, we're not talking about anything. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about. If you are a
Yeah.
video coach that focuses on confidence and visibility, that's just what you do. It's not, people know that they will
That's
not
what I
go.
focus. I focus on confidence and visibility, not the actual doing videos. Because I'm
Yeah.
a therapist. I'm not here to teach them how to do videos. It's a confidence and visibility thing.
Okay, so why just videos? Why I understand the approach, but why not talk a little bit more about social media as a whole and showing up on social media? You can, of course, it's video, but I think if we,
Yeah, but I do talk about that in my feed. My feed is everything to do with visibility, basically. So I do talk about on camera, videos, social media. Yeah, that's my plan. Anything to do with visibility, I talk about,
okay,
and all the fears related to that, to the fear of being on camera, to the fear of doing lives, to the fear of posting. So I talk about.
okay. So if we look at your content here, I think we could just, instead of, I think first things first, we need to get your content a little bit more curious, a little bit more talking to your audience, and a little bit more of, hang on, let's take an example here. How do I conquer my camera shyness? Start small, wear clothing you like, use visualization, your turn, comment with your thoughts. Okay. Do you think that, I'm trying to explain this in a way that I don't sound like a terrible person. What I tell my, no, it's true, because what I tell my clients is all my clients, they're just like you.
Yeah.
They know a lot. They have a lot of expertise. But when we are sharing tips, sometimes we oversimplify things. And when we oversimplify, we reduce the reach of our content, and we reduce how much our audience wants to follow us, or our ideal audience wants to follow us. So instead of saying,
What do you mean by simplify?
so starting small. So
Hmm.
the first thing, by simplifying, I mean, how do I conquer my camera shyness? That's okay. That's a good enough hook. Here we go
Mhm.
straight to the tips. In a carousel, I would have left an additional 1 or 2 pages talking about how that's impacting my audience. So how is camera shyness impacting them today?
Okay, I got it. Yeah.
What do
Mhm,
they
yeah.
want to achieve in the future? What is their, why do you care? So all of these things you can talk about in 1 or 2 initial slides. And then you say,
Mhm.
today I'm going to bring you 3 tips to get you started. So then you can say, start small, and then start small by recording yourself in a familiar and comfortable environment. The more you practice,
Mhm.
okay. Then wear clothing you like and have your hair and makeup done to your liking. I would have put more.
These are just tips, because the reality in my sessions, it's so much deeper than that. It's like subconscious fears that they have because of family issues, because of past traumas. So these are just superficial tips that I
So-
have to post, because I can't post anything else. I can post my clients' traumas or my whatever. So
Why do you have to post this?
because people say you need to post tips, so I'm posting tips.
Okay, but here's where your knowledge comes up. What I just heard is that that's not it. That's not the reality. So these are the tips
These
that
help. Obviously, my clients, when they come to me and they get over their fears and their traumas, the next steps, they go into this, obviously. But the first thing is to deal with their trauma or fears or whatever problems they have before they go into this.
Okay, so I would recommend if you can. But you don't need to talk about anybody's traumas, of course, but you can talk about it in general. You can talk about assess where your fear is coming from. And then talk about many times when I work with clients, their fears, or all the time when I work with clients, their fears are actually coming from past traumas. When you start understanding where they're coming from, you can let go of that fear and start working towards confidence. Then on the next one, you could accept yourself as you are today, or things that are a little bit deeper and that show your work, your real work. Because if we don't give people a reason for them to follow us, they're not going to follow us. It's just like I mentioned about my client. She's a dietitian, and she was saying like 3 ways to help you during menopause: drink water, sleep more, reduce sugar. Everybody and their dogs know that. But so everybody and their dogs know that start small, wear clothing you like, and use visualization are things that could help. But past traumas, acceptance, and deeper things like that.
Acceptance is also something that needs to be worked on because of past traumas and experiences. So it's like saying to someone, accept yourself. That's not going to work if they have things to work on.
That's exactly what needs to be there. You could even make a single post about it. Bad video advice. Just accept yourself the way you are. That doesn't work. That doesn't work for 99% of the people. These feelings are coming from this, and this, and the best course of action is this, and this. So sharing your opinions, sharing all these things that make you the expert are the real tips that are going to make a difference for your audience. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
And when you share these small tips, there's a time and place for them. I totally agree. I think they should be there. But I would keep them, for example, in infographics. So things that are a little bit easier to digest and a little bit quicker. Even a reel, like a little reel with you talking to the camera and maybe your phone recording the behind the scenes and saying 3 ways I prepare myself, 3 ways to feel more comfortable in front of the camera. And then you can say, write bullet points, wear comfortable shoes, or record barefoot, whatever. And then the third one, and then you can say full guiding captions, and then you break down those small, easy tips.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah. And the bio, was the bio okay with you?
I think that's okay. Video confidence visibility specialist.
Okay. Yeah, because before I had scopophobia specialist, but yeah, now it's much better. I keep getting more people now, at least, because with scopophobia, I seem to scare everyone away. They didn't want to have scopophobia.
And
so, I needed to change.
You could make a sentence here. So instead of just having small bullet points, overcome your fear, overcome your camera fears, get confident and visible, and start growing your business today. You could put a little bit more credibility if you want. You could put like
you just said today, but it takes some time.
Yeah, but
wouldn't that like be lying?
You start today? No, because they're starting today. So you have to start somewhere, right? So start today.
Yeah, they're starting on their first session with me.
Exactly, yes. Today. So
yes, sometimes it's all it takes is one session.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see a little bit more of all that experience you have, all that leadership passing in your carousels. Keep the simpler tips for the reels, and for sure there's some work to be done around your hooks as well, but probably that would take a lot more work than just a quick Q&A, but focus on the hooks as well. The hooks will definitely be a game changer for you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'll take one more question, guys, and then I have to go because I have to go to another town to pick up the keys to my apartment. So excited. Grace, do you have a question?
Yeah. Oh, hey. So yeah, that was really helpful, and it helped me just think of content for what I do as well. But I don't feel like I have a niche. I'm one of those people on social media that doesn't have a niche because I'm multifaceted, and everything that I offer is all connected. I'm a relationship coach, astrologer, but my point is to help women be inspired with their spirituality, with the guidance that that I give, through astrology, and just how to be yourself in relationships. And because I feel like relationships is like the biggest thing for people. It's what they want, but it's the biggest challenge to like really attain to. So everything that I talk about, I feel like it's pointing there. At least that's what I think. But I guess my question is when you're multifaceted like that and you have different topics, how do you show up in your stories? Like, what do you recommend with that, especially with me talking about astrology, and I talk about like family, issues, conscious parenting, conscious relationships. Like, what do you recommend with how to show up in your stories?
Okay. I would say that it is much harder when you add all of those things at the same level in a profile, for sure. If it works for you, that's brilliant. But I think that for the majority of people, it would be very hard to grow an audience and even understand what you talk about on a daily basis, because everything is a topic, right? So it gets quite complicated very fast. What I would suggest is, if you're saying that all the topics converge into relationships somehow, so not only the parenting converges, astrology converges, maybe other types of relationship converge, you could lead with that topic, and then you use the other topics to enhance not only who you are as a person, but also to enhance that other topic. That could be one way to approach it. And you don't need to, like I said, you don't need to approach people with all the topics. It may drive even people away. If you approach people with the relationship coaching, I think you could get people to build even more depth and engagement with you through these other topics, because they show you as, like you said yourself, I'm gonna say it wrong, multifaceted person, right? So there is depth to who you are. And I think people really appreciate that. I see it in my profile. I lead with content, I lead with storytelling, but I have multiple sides of me. Like, I love traveling and I talk about traveling in my profile. I love the whole side of mindset and focusing on your mind, working on that resilience, working on doing things that are non-negotiable, honoring your commitments. But I don't have mindset as my niche.
Yeah.
So that's one side. Now, the other side, back to your question, the stories, I would say, if you don't choose to go down that route, everything has to converge back to you. So it has to be about you. So how do you use astrology? What have you seen in relationship coaching? What is your experience with parenting or with talking to clients that are, dealing with some things? I think your stories would be more of a behind the scenes of your life than anything else.
Mhm.
Does that make sense? And then the topics would just
Yeah.
fall into that.
Yeah, when I share more personal things that's going on with me, I get a lot of engagement when I'm sharing relational situations or family dynamics and stuff, because I feel like my page, if you see my page, you wouldn't know that I'm an astrologer, because I feel like I'm not the type of astrologer like your Mars and your sun is in this, and this is what it means. I've moved away from that because now I understand how I can use astrology in my life to better my relationships and situation. So yeah, but astrology is just a tool I use. Like all of these things that I'm multifaceted in, it's just a tool that I use. But what you're coming to me for is to improve your relationships with yourself, with your family, with whoever is in your life. So
There you go.
so yeah.
That's
Yeah, so
exactly it. That's exactly where I wanted to get to. They are tools that enhance your portfolio, your tool set, your toolbox, but you lead with one thing.
Thank you so, man. I want to just say to you, thank you so much for just showing up and helping us with our stories, because since purchasing the course, I'm actually having fun with my stories. It's so easy now because of your course. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Grace. I get so happy when people tell me that. Like so happy. Thank you so much. I'm so happy.
Because social media can just be a lot because we're not really clear on what we're doing. But when you get that one piece of information that be like, no, just do it like this, and this is what this means, and be authentic to yourself, it just, yeah, I have fun. I'm posting more of my stories now than I'm actually posting on my feed because I'm just having fun with it. You
There
know?
you go. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Oh, I'm so happy. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Reina, as well. Thank you so much for your comment. I'm just seeing here. Isabel, thank you so much. And everyone, thank you for coming. Truly appreciate you being here. Hope you enjoyed this Q&A. Hope you got a lot from it. I will have this updated in our drive before the start of next week. It's going to be in the same place where the other Q&A is. So just have to scroll a little bit to the bottom. And for those of you that were not in the first Q&A, if you watch the first 10 minutes of the last Q&A, there's a full explanation of our Google Sheets there. So if something isn't clear, go there, watch the first 10 minutes. All the information and explanation is there for you to see. So I am honestly, thank you so much, everyone, for coming. I truly appreciate it. And with that, I'm going to close our Q&A for today, and stay in touch because I love to see your stories. So send me a DM anytime you want. Thank you, everyone. And now stop the recording.